I can't hold it any longer. I can't. I'm weak. Too weak. Anakin! Help me! I can't hold on any longer.
I can't do it. I just don't have enough fuel.
Well, I can help with that. Try some of my plutonium.
Okay, will it really work?
Of course. Just try it.
How does it work?
Well, let me explain it to you.
Oh no, never mind, please. No.
Well, here we go.
So let's look at the history briefly. Plutonium is a man-made radioactive chemical element with the symbol Pu and atomic number 94, but some traces have been found in nature. It has a silver-gray appearance, and plutonium-238 was the first isotope discovered by Dr. Kennedy, Macmillan, Seaborg, and Wall at University of California, Berkeley. Plutonium-239 was later discovered by Seaborg, and it was used in the atomic bomb, the Fat Man, which was dropped on Nagasaki to help end World War II. This bomb used about 6.4 kilograms of plutonium-239, but it exploded with a force of around 21,000 tons of TNT. Its nuclear power then made it attractive for use in nuclear reactors to produce electricity. Plutonium-239 is a fissionable isotope, which means that it can be fissioned or split by the absorption of a low-energy neutron, often termed a slow neutron or thermal neutron. A single fission event can yield over 200 million times the energy of the neutron which triggered it. In fact, the fission of a single kilogram of plutonium releases 22 million kilowatt hours of heat energy. Compare that to the approximately 8 kilowatt hours of heat that can be produced from 1 kilogram of coal, and plutonium fission doesn't release any greenhouse gases either. About 1/3 of the energy produced in a nuclear fuel cycle comes from plutonium-239, and it generates about 2 times as much electricity as oil-fired plants, which there are many more of. Today's nuclear power plant is a system where energy released by nuclear fission is used to produce electricity. These plants contain 4 key elements: a reactor, coolant system, electrical power generating unit, and a safety system. The source of energy in a nuclear reactor is a fission reaction when neutrons collide with the nuclei of radioisotopes like plutonium-239, causing it to split apart, with the products of the reaction giving off substantial amounts of energy, fission products, and free neutrons, which continue the fission chain. A constant and reliable flow of neutrons is ensured in the reactor by a moderator, which slows down the speed of the neutrons, and by control rods, which limit the number of neutrons available in the reactor. The heat produced from fission of plutonium is used to produce steam, which is then piped into the electrical generating unit, where it turns the blades of a turbine and a generator, producing electrical energy. Plutonium-239 is formed when uranium-238, which makes up 99.3% of all natural uranium, is fissioned when bombarded with fast neutrons. By capturing a neutron, uranium-238 becomes uranium-239 that rapidly changes by beta radiation into neptunium-239. This neptunium then undergoes another transformation by beta radiation after 2 to 3 days on average, becoming a new nucleus of plutonium-239, which is fissile and will alpha decay into uranium-235. Sodium-cooled fast neutron reactors, or breeder reactors, have been thought of to use, which could be fueled by plutonium while breeding somewhat more plutonium from uranium-238 than they consume. Plutonium-239 can also be used to produce energy after being collected in a process known as reprocessing to separate plutonium from other byproducts after their uranium has been fissioned in a reactor.
So that's how plutonium can help you.
Oh, that's great. But now I'll easily be able to overthrow the Jedi. But my ship is almost out of fuel. How am I gonna escape after handling Mace Windu?
Try this different type of plutonium. It'll help your ship.
Oh, that's great. But how?
Let
Oh,
me
no.
explain it to you.
Oh, not again.
So
The heat produced by the natural radioactive decay of plutonium-238 enables its use in radioisotope power systems, or RPS, which are used in deep space probes when solar power becomes too difficult to acquire, like in deep space far away from the sun. It also helps spacecraft instruments and onboard systems to continue to operate effectively in extremely cold environments. Only 22 radioisotopes known to humankind are capable of powering a deep space probe, but to be used in a deep space mission, a radioisotope must not readily be absorbed into the body in the unlikely event of a launch accident, exist in a form such that it presents no or minimal chemical toxicity when taken into the body, have relatively low neutron, beta, and gamma radiation emissions, so as to not adversely affect spacecraft instruments or require excessively massive shielding, be stable at high temperatures so its characteristics remain essentially unchanged over many years, have a long enough half-life, 15 to 100 years, so that it can generate for many years sufficient heat for transformation into electricity. And it needs to have a high power density so a small amount of it can generate a lot of heat. And the only radioisotope that has consistently met the basic criteria is plutonium-238, which has a half-life of 88 years and a high power density. This isotope is made by irradiating neptunium-237, and it has already proven to be a very dependable and safe heat source on more than 24 U.S. space missions over the last 50 years. These are the same reasons it was used in some cardiac pacemakers before the use of lithium batteries. Plutonium-238 has powered about 30 U.S. space vehicles and enabled the Voyager 1 and 2 spacecraft to send back pictures of distant planets. The Voyager spacecrafts have each been active for over 43.5 years and have retrieved information of all four of the solar system's giant planets at close range. This fuel allowed the Voyager 1 to become the first spacecraft to leave our solar system. The Cassini spacecraft carried 3 generators with 33 kilograms of plutonium oxide, providing 870 watts power as it orbited around Saturn. And the Galileo is another probe run on plutonium-238. More efficient multi-mission RTGs use 8 290-watt RTG units with a total of 4.8 kilograms plutonium-238 oxide to produce steady power. Plutonium-238 is being used in the NASA Mars Science Laboratory missions rover Curiosity, and another multi-mission RTG is being used for the Mars 2020 rover. NASA is currently investing in nuclear power technologies that would maintain its current space science capabilities.
Well, thanks.
of course, sugar.
Michael, I need some help.
What's up, sweetie?
Well, it all started earlier today. I don't have the power to get that stain out. And if I don't get it out, Mr. Krabs will fire me for sure.
Oh boy. Well, try some of my plutonium. It'll definitely help you. And if not even that works, you can try my plutonium-fueled atomic bomb.
In a nuclear weapon, plutonium-239 is the primary isotope used, and the fission chain reaction, once triggered, proceeds at an exponentially increasing rate, resulting in an explosion. Plutonium-239 actually has a very small critical mass of about 5 kilograms, which is the minimum amount of fissile material needed to maintain a nuclear chain reaction. This means that only this small amount of plutonium can be used to maintain a constant release of energy.
Thanks, Mr. Michael, but P.U., that stinks.
The platter's all clean.
Plutonium is great.